found a little tape in the back of a shoebox. Brown paper label, my handwriting on it. Half the name rubbed out, half the truth still there. Lord, it still spins like a broke down prayer. Sitting with my bills and my old church letter, a cracked little shed with a lie in it. I held it up to the light and I knew that sound was the worst good night I ever lived through. Your voice on the first line, my laugh in the crackle, a train in the room and a bottle on the table. I said I lost you clean, I said I moved on, but the tape don't care what I told myself. I heard us fighting in the kitchen at 2 in the morning, a glass on the sink and a door chain swinging. You said, don't call me baby when you mean goodbye, and I said, don't stay if you came to shame me. That was us, all fire and cheap excuses, all smoke in the curtains, all pride in the teeth. I kept the tape because it told the truth, and I kept the lie because it kept me breathing. Play it back, let the needle find the scar. Play it back, that's who we really are. Not the sweet parts, not the sober parts, just two lost voices in the dark. Play it back, let it cut me open slow. If I can't forget, then I ought to know what we were when the house went cold, what we were when the tape was rolling. There was a laugh in there right after the crying, the kind you make when you can't afford to break. You told me one day you'll hear this and hate yourself. Well, baby, I heard it and I stayed awake. The tape hissed like a snake in a radiator, and every rewind took me further in. I am not asking for mercy tonight, I'm just telling you where the story begins. I didn't lose it, I buried it. There's a difference. Play it back, let the needle find the scar. Play it back, that's who we really are. Not the saints, not the fools, not the parts that shine, just two hard lives in a faded line. Play it back, let it cut me open slow. If I can't forget, then I ought to know what I kept, what I killed, what I let go. On side A, track 1, the truth came home. Bad luck, oh sin. Spin it once and it starts again. I seen you at the back table under the weak red light. Same old coat on your shoulders, same look in your eyes. He had your chair pulled out like he was somebody new. And I stood in the doorway, trying not to be blue. You didn't wait, you didn't freeze, you didn't even flinch. You just took that smoke like it was part of your lunch. I knew the bartender, he knew my face. He slid me a glass like he knew my place. I wanted to leave, I wanted to stay. I wanted to walk up and ruin your night, but my hands were busy with a dime store light, and my heart was already out of sight. That man at your side kept leaning in close, like he knew you laugh in the shape of your coat. I heard you say something, and I heard him laugh. That was enough to split me in half. I ain't proud of the thoughts that came through me. Ugly little sparks, mean little prayers. I said let her be happy, but the words came thin. When a jealous man talks, he don't sound like himself. There's a table near the back where I left my name. There's a table near the back where I still feel shame. You can sit where you want, you can choose who you see, but that table in the dark still belongs to me. I don't own your life, I don't own your door, but I know that look, I wore it before. There's a table near the back and it's calling my bluff. If I walk over there, I might not come back up. I thought about tipping the glass and making a scene. Thought about saying your name like a broken machine. Thought about the old days and the rent we couldn't pay. Thought about how a man can haunt what he can't say. But I stayed where I was with my pride in the mud, counting every second like a debt in blood. You glanced my way once, just enough to tell me I wasn't the only one stuck. A bar full of people and not one of them mine. That's the kind of lonely that sharpens with time. There's a table near the back where I left my name. There's a table near the back where I still feel shame. You can sit where you want, you can choose who you see, but that table in the dark still belongs to me. I don't own your life, I don't own your door, but I know that look, I wore it before. There's a table near the back and it knows my face. I lost you out loud in a crowded place. Leave the glass, take the hurt. Some nights loss is what you deserve. Don't put my name on the bottle. Don't let that pen write me down. I come here for the burn and the blur, not to leave my trouble in town. I sit where the light don't flatter nobody, where the mirrors are kind to the dead. I tell myself one more little pour, and I can keep you out of my head. But the glass starts talking in your accent, and the ice starts sounding like your shoes. I hate how fast I learn your silence. I hate what a lonely man will choose. The bartender knows I've been back too often. He don't preach, he just keeps the cab loose. He said, son, you ain't drinking for the liquor. I said, no, I'm drinking for the excuse. Now I'm looking for a reason to stay broke-hearted, looking for a way to stay half alive. I would rather drown in a bad memory than sit at home and let the truth survive. Don't put my name on the bottle, don't let it stand in the light. If the world sees me like this, baby, I belong to the night. Close enough to the edge, without a receipt for what I think. I heard your laugh in a booth by the jukebox. Could have been you, could have been sin. I turned too fast, saw only a stranger, but my hand started shaking again. That's what you do when you leave somebody. You live in the room they were in. You don't just lose their body and name it over. You keep the fever where they lived in. If I call your ghost by my last drink, I might say your name and mean it. Baby, I'll belong to the night. Don't put my name on the bottle. I don't need that shame in ink. I'm already close enough to the edge, without a receipt for what I think. No pen, no proof, no pride, just a man and a heart all tied. When the tape spit fire, I heard my own mouth first. Not her leaving out the door, just me and my curve. talking over you like I was king of the room, slamming down truth like a glass full of doom. You said you don't listen, you only wait to reply, and I said some foolish thing that made you cry. Now the tape keeps time with my bad behavior. Every ugly word got a drumbeat frame. I can't blame the night, I can't blame the bottle when the tape says loud what I won't name. Then I heard your side, clean as a razor. You said my cousin called, you said you answered the door. You said don't make me pay for a life I didn't steal. And I heard myself laugh like a man with no feel. That laugh was a hammer, that laugh was a danger, that laugh was the end before the end. I used to call you dramatic, said you made things worse. Now I know how a lie can defend a sin. When the tape spit fire, the whole house lit up, every little secret in a coffee-stained cup. When the tape spit fire, there was nowhere to hide, not in my mouth, not in my pride. It burned my story down to the nails, it burned the sweet parts out of the tale. When the tape spit fire, I heard plain and true I was breaking you, while you were trying to save us too. There was a door slam, then a laugh upstairs. Somebody else was there, and I knew that stare. I could hear hands moving, chairs scraping back, like a whole bad life was rolling off track. You didn't scream right away, you got quiet first. That's the kind of silence that can make blood hurt. Me, I kept talking, trying to win the night, like a fool can out a thought of broken light. I heard the truth on a busted reel, I heard my name in a devil's wheel. Devil's wheel, devil's deal. When the tape spit fire, the whole house lit up, every little secret in a coffee-stained cup. When the tape spit fire, there was nowhere to hide, not in my mouth, not in my pride. It burned my story down to the nails, it burned the sweet parts out of the tales. When the tape spit fire, I heard plain and true I was breaking you, while you were trying to save us too. To take She had a copy of the truth, folded up in a drawer. Not for the court, not for the church, just to remember what she swore. I saw her at the laundry on a Thursday morning, looked past me first, then right through me. I said, "You still keeping old things around?" She said, "Only the things that nearly ruined me." Then she laughed that dry little laugh of hers and pulled out a cassette in a plastic case. No label, no title, just a date and a name, and my own bad voice looking me in the face. She said, "I didn't keep it to miss you, baby. I kept it so I wouldn't lie." She had my voicemail from the night I vanished. She had the part where I said goodbye. She had the line where I blamed her crying. She had the part where I sounded kind. She had enough to tell the difference between a wounded heart and a crooked mind. She kept a copy of the truth. I kept a copy of the pain. Same old song in a different room. Same old fire in the rain. She kept a copy of the truth. Not to beg, not to pretend, just in case I came back talking sweet and tried to rewrite the end. I asked her why she didn't throw it away. She said, "Because the lie came dressed like love." I looked at my shoes, I looked at her hands, I looked at how time don't clean enough. There was no begging in her voice, no sermon, just a woman who learned the shape of proof. When a man keeps saying, "Trust me, baby," sometimes trust is what cost you truth. She said, "I can forgive what I can't forget." Then she put the tape back in her bag. She kept a copy of the truth. I kept a copy of the pain. Same old song in a different room. Same old fire in the rain. She kept a copy of the truth. Not to beg, not to pretend, just in case I came back talking sweet and tried to rewrite the end. Her copy, my shame. Same real, different name. I owe the night rent for every hour I borrowed wrong. I've been living in a house of excuses too long, too long. There's a spot by the window where the draft comes through. That's where I sat waiting on a kindness that never grew. I spent your patience like cash in a pocket, spent your good name like a fool on a promise. Every late return, every no-show phone call, every "I'll be there" that turned into nothing at all. I was not just careless, I was collecting debt with a smile on my face and a heart not paid yet. yet. You don't notice damage when you're doing it slow. That's what men like me tell ourselves to go on and go. A cracked little ceiling, a burned out bulb, a sink that leaks right through the night. I thought love would cover what I refused to face. I thought your forgiveness had unlimited space. But the bill comes due in the silence after, when nobody's yelling and the room knows better. I owe the night rent, I owe the door chain too, I owe the dark for the things I put you through. I owe the mattress, I owe the floor for every promise I used and came back for more. I owe the night rent, that's the honest part. I've been sleeping on somebody else's heart. And if the landlord's life comes asking me now, I don't have a prayer and I don't know how. I used to say that's just how I am, like a bad excuse can pass for a man. But a real man's footprints got a price on them. A real man's lies come back with names on them. I can hear the city counting under the tracks. One for the leaving, one for the coming back. One for the mouth, one for the hand, one for the day I finally understand. I was living like tomorrow was free. It never was. That's the honest part. I've been sleeping on somebody else's heart. And if the landlord's life comes asking me now, I can only stand here and answer out loud. Pay up in shame, pay up in time, pay up for the line you crossed in the night. You can erase a voice, but you can't erase a room. The wall keeps the picture, the floor keeps the tune. I rewind and I hear the freight on the east side, hear my old boots on the stairs, hear your coat in the hall. I hear payday Friday, I hear busted light switches, hear a landlord's knock and no money at all. Funny what survives when the soft parts are gone. A can opener, a winter coat, a lie half sung. The tape don't keep the shining parts. It keeps the hinges and the things we dragged along. It keeps your mother saying that boy ain't good for you. It keeps my brother laughing in the next room. It keeps the time we dance too tired to care. It keeps the windows sweating in August heat. It keeps the silence after a bad apology. It keeps the little mercy in a busted chair. We were never just love, we were weather and work. We were rent due, we were smoke, we were there. What the rewind keeps is what I got. Not the dream I sold, but the life we lost. It keeps the name, it keeps the sound, it keeps the bruise of a hometown town. What the rewind keeps won't make me clean, but it tells me who we were when no one was seen. In the hiss and the crackle and the hard old spin, you hear the part of me that couldn't live again. Maybe that's the mercy, maybe that's the curse, that the tape saves the worst and the nearly worse. It doesn't lie, it doesn't bless, it just keeps moving through the mess. So I don't call it love like I used to do. I call it a life that went through me and you. And every time that real comes around, I hear the city holding us down. Not a souvenir, a record of damage, a record of staying. What the rewind keeps is what I got. Not the dream I sold, but the life we lost. It keeps the name, it keeps the sound, it keeps the bruise of a hometown town. What the rewind keeps won't make me clean, but it tells me who we were when no one was seen. In the hiss and the crackle and the hard old spin, you hear the part of me that couldn't live again. Keep what hurt, keep what stayed, keep the truth, the tape delayed. They kept looking for the missing reel. I was standing right there. Everybody wanted the lost part back, the one with your laugh and the night turned black. But the more I heard that old machine wind up, the more I knew the missing piece was us. Not the tape itself, not the box, not the noise. It was the man who kept calling himself a voice. I was there in the room when the truth walked out, acting like I was the only one left in doubt. I made a theater out of being sorry, made a religion out of I didn't mean. But meaning ain't worth much at 3 in the morning when the same lie comes back in a different scene. You don't get to call it fate when it's habits. You don't get to call it rain when it's choice. I was the missing reel because I kept pulling the story away from the one on his voice. I was the missing reel, I was the blank space. I was the hand that erased my own face. I was the cut that the tape could not hide. I was the one still missing inside. I was the missing reel, not lost, not gone. Just a man who knew the truth and kept moving on. Now the machine can keep what it kept, but I am not the part I have not said yet. So if you play it again, don't play it for mercy. Don't play it to soften what I did. Play it so the room knows the difference between a broken man and a hidden kid. I loved you ugly, I loved you late. I loved you like a man who hates his name. And if there was a holy thing left in the wreck, it was the fact that I finally called the blame. I am not the tape, I am the hand that shook. I am the missing reel that should have been